I never thought revenge would taste like Chanel No. 5 and stale champagne. But here I was, slipping into Victoria Hale's designer heels, her surgically enhanced curves straining against a silk blouse that cost more than my entire wardrobe back home. The mirror in her penthouse bathroom lied to me every morning, blonde waves instead of my mousy brown bob. Ice blue eyes mocking the warm hazel ones I'd lost. Full lips curled in a perpetual sneer that wasn't mine. But it was her body now, all 6 feet of privileged perfection, and I'd make damn sure she felt every cut I carved into her empire from the inside. It started with a betrayal so deep it hollowed me out like a gutted fish. We were roommates at UCLA, me, Ella Ramirez, the scholarship kid from the wrong side of the tracks in East LA, scraping by on ramen and dreams of law school. Her, Victoria, the trust fund princess majoring in communications because it sounded fun. She played the part of the perfect sorority sister, late-night study sessions where she'd borrow my notes, brunches where she'd foot the bill with Daddy's Amex, and whispers about how we were soul sisters against the world. But soul sisters don't frame you for embezzling from the student union fund just to bankroll a nose job and lip fillers that would make her Instagram pop. That scholarship, the governor's merit award, full ride to Harvard Law, was my ticket out. I'd earned it with straight A's, volunteer hours at the community legal aid, and a personal essay about my mom's cancer battle that left the panel in tears. Victoria knew. Hell, she'd read drafts over wine coolers, cooing about how inspiring it was. Then, poof, 2 weeks before the announcement, the cops hauled me in. Embezzlement, they said. Flashing ledgers doctored with my forged signature. 50 grand from the union's event budget, funneled into an offshore account traced back to my student ID. I swore up and down it wasn't me. But the evidence was ironclad. Timestamps from my laptop. Emails from my account.
Victoria?
She was my alibi that night, out sick with food poisoning. Or so she claimed when the dean called. By the time the scholarship board revoked my award, she'd already applied, swapping in her own essay, plagiarized from mine, with a dash of her unique spin on privilege guilt. She got it. Vanity's crown, paid for with my blood. I took the fall because I was stupid, loyal,
broke.
Pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor to avoid felony charges. Public defender advised it. Said it'd keep me out of county lockup, community service, and probation. But my record was tainted. Dreams deferred indefinitely. Mom passed 6 months later, whispering from her hospice bed that she'd always believed in me. Victoria sent flowers. White lilies. Like a funeral. Fast forward 2 years, I'm waitressing at a dive bar in Koreatown, dodging leers from drunk finance bros. When she strolls in like she owns the joint. Victoria Hale. Harvard Law second year. Summering in LA for an internship at some cutthroat firm. Her face? Transformed, porcelain skin. Aquiline nose. Lips like forbidden fruit.
Ella.
Oh my God. It's been forever, she squeals, air kissing my cheek, her perfume choking me. She orders a skinny margarita, chats about her hectic life, then drops the bomb. She's getting one last tweak tomorrow. Experimental procedure at a discreet Beverly Hills clinic, some cutting-edge neural mapping to enhance self-perception. Sounds like bullshit, but she's glowing, handing me 100 for the tip like it's pity money. I should have walked away. Instead, I pocket the cash and seethe all night. By dawn, I'm outside the clinic, hood up against the coastal fog, watching her Mercedes pull up. Desperation does funny things. I'd read about black market neural drugs online, Whispers of body echo serums that mess with identity. 1 dose, they said, and your mind fractures.
2.
Who knows? I tail her inside, bribe the receptionist with my last 20 for a consult, and when the nurse leaves the tray unattended, God forgive me, I swap the vials. Hers gets my spike saline, mine hers. The real deal. Shimmering like liquid mercury. The swap hits like a freight train. 1 minute. I'm in a recovery room. Woozy from the injection meant to align chakras, or whatever holistic crap they peddle. Next. The world tilts. Voices echo wrong. Her voice. My thoughts. I blink. And it's her eyes staring back from the mirror. No. Wait. I'm staring at me. My old body. Slumped in the next bed. Monitors beeping softly. Panic claws my throat. But it's her throat. Smooth and unscarred. Nurses rush in. Victoria?
Ella?
What happened? Chaos. Fainting spells. Psych evals. By evening, they've discharged us, me and her body, her and mine, with strict orders to rest and follow up. I stumble out into the LA dusk, her keys in her pocket, Ubering to her condo overlooking the Hollywood Hills. The doorman nods like I'm royalty. The elevator hums up 30 floors. Inside, it's a shrine to excess, marble counters, abstract art that costs more than my mom's house, a walk-in closet stuffed with labels I can't pronounce. I strip down, trace the foreign curves, the faint scar from her C-section she never had. Wait. What? No kids. But the mark's there, hidden under Spanx. Secrets in flesh. That night, curled in her king-sized bed, silk sheets tangling like lies, I plot. She's in my body now, probably crashing at my old studio apartment, waking up to eviction notices and a job she can't hack. But I'm Victoria Hale, with her Rolodex of power players, her encrypted laptop full of skeletons. The scholarship was step 1 of her Vanity parade. Now, I'll dismantle it all. Starting with the bank. Her phone buzzes, text from Daddy. Sweetie, wire confirmed for the clinic. Proud of you. I scroll back. Transfers from Hale Industries, her family's conglomerate. Embezzlement?
No.
But close. Offshore shells. Tax dodges. And there, buried in her notes app, Ella frame, Union Fund reroute. Clean.
Proof.
My heart, her heart, pounds. But revenge isn't quick. It's a slow burn. American as apple pie laced with arsenic. Days blur into a tense masquerade. I attend her internship meetings, nodding at partners who eye Victoria's assets more than her briefs. She's sharp. I'll give her that, top of her class, charming the socks off judges at mock trials. But I'm sharper, fueled by rage. I hack her email, password, Vanity Queen 69.
Jesus.
Forwarding threads to anonymous tips lines. Whispers of her erratic behavior spread me, skipping yoga for late-night dives into her files. Then, the first crack, a call from the bank. MS.
Hale?
Regarding the recent wire to Elysium Clinic, there's a discrepancy in the originating account. My pulse spikes. Discrepancy? I play dumb. Voice husky like hers after mimosa. What do you mean? The rep hesitates. It traces back to a student union escrow from 2 years ago. Flagged for fraud. Bingo. The money she used for her tweaks. Funneling through that embezzled pot she pinned on me.
But how? Ide deeper.
Her laptop yielding gold, spreadsheets showing diversions from Hale's R&D slush fund, masked as donations, then looped back via the union hack. She didn't just steal my scholarship, she laundered family dirty money through it, using me as the fall guy to keep it off the books. I laugh, her laugh, tinkling and cruel, echoing off the glass walls. The bank's audit is coming. They'll unravel it all. But I want more. I want her to watch. Living as Victoria was like wearing a corset made of razor wire, every breath a reminder of the lie. Every glance in the mirror a gut punch of displacement. My old body, that compact 5'4" frame with calloused hands from bussing tables, felt like a distant memory, swapped for this Amazonian shell that turned heads and opened doors. But power? It was intoxicating. A dark elixir bubbling in my veins. I'd sip her morning lattes from bone china, scroll her socials where followers fawned over boss babe posts, and plot the next move in a war she didn't know she'd lost. She, real Victoria, trapped in my skin, tried reaching out first. A burner phone call to her number, which I now controlled.
Ella?
What the fuck did you do? Her voice, raspy from my vocal cords strained by screaming into pillows, cracked with fury. I let silence stretch, then purred in her honeyed timbre. Do? Darling, I'm just catching up on your beauty sleep. She ranted about the eviction notice on my door, the bar firing me for no-shows, the mirror that showed a stranger's tired eyes. Fix this. We can switch back whatever drug it was. There's an antidote.
Lies.
I'd researched. Elysium serum was one way. A black market beta for dissociative therapy gone rogue.
Permanoico.
I hung up, blocked the number, and dove into her secrets. The penthouse safe, combo from her diary, birth date of some ex, yielded a thumb drive. Files on Hale Industries, kickbacks from lobbyists, environmental cover-ups on fracking sites in Texas, even a slush fund for bribing med school deans. Her dad,
Reginald Hale,
wasn't just old money, he was dirty money, built on Rust Belt factories that poisoned rivers and crushed unions. And Victoria, his golden girl, groomed to inherit, but with her own side hustles. Emails to a shady surgeon, double the dose, make me unforgettable. Attached, psych evals from Harvard, diagnosing her with body dysmorphia, so severe she'd once attempted suicide via pills, only to be hushed up by family lawyers. The betrayal deepened. That night 2 years ago, when she framed me, it wasn't impulse. Her notes confessed she'd hacked my laptop during a study session, planted the code while I dozed. But why me? Because I was expendable Latina kid on aid.
no connections.
And the secret she buried? Mom's cancer treatments weren't covered by my piddly insurance. I'd confided in Victoria about dipping into union funds for a loan. Just $5K. Repaid anonymously. She found out. Twisted it into the full $50K scam, making me the patsy to mask her larger laundering. I bore her crime. All right, her vanity funded by my desperation. Her empire shielded by my ruin. Controversial decisions started small. I ghosted her internship mentor, citing personal crisis, then leaked his affair with a junior associate to TMZ anonymously. Chaos at the firm. Victoria's rep took the hit. Next, I drained her personal accounts, not all, just enough to donate to East LA legal aid in my old name. Poetic, right? But the real tension built around the bank audit. I scheduled a meeting at Wells Fargo's Century City branch, striding in as her, Louboutins clicking on marble, Birkin bag swinging like a weapon. The loan officer, A balding guy named Hargrove with a mustache like a 70s porn star ushered me to a glass-walled office. MS. Hail. The wire to Elysium. It's linked to a flagged escrow. Union funds. 2019 vintage. Regulators are involved. I feigned shock, dabbing crocodile tears with a monogrammed hanky. But how? Daddy handles all that. He slid over printouts, transaction chains looping from Hale Corp to the student account, then to the clinic. Her Vanity payments? Tainted. Every filler and lift bought with laundered cash. I left with copies. Heart hammering. Back home, I pored over them by candlelight. Her place had a blackout chic vibe. All dimmers and shadows. The twist nod. If exposed, it wasn't just her scholarship revoked. It had torched the Hales.
SEC investigation.
Congressional hearings.
But me?
In her body, I'd be the whistleblower, the brave insider, or the accomplice, if they dug deep. Moral quicksand. She called again that night. From a library payphone, clever bitch.
Ella.
I know it's you. The firm's buzzing about my leak. Stop this madness, we talk. In person. Her voice trembled. My old accent slipping through, thick with barrio vowels. I agreed. Curiosity a sharper hook than hate. Neutral ground. Griffith Observatory. Midnight. Under the Foucault pendulum. The fog rolled in thick. LA's eternal marine layer cloaking the city, lights below like a guilty secret. I arrived early. Her trench coat belted tight. Watching shadows. Then, there, my body, hunched and unfamiliar, shambling up the path. She looked wrecked, dark circles under hazel eyes, brown hair hacked unevenly, clothes hanging loose from skipped meals. You did this, she hissed. Close enough, I smelled my old cheap drugstore shampoo. Swapped us like fucking dolls. I stepped forward, her height towering over me. You swapped my life first. Vicky. For what? A prettier shell? We circled like prize fighters. Words flying, her defending it as survival, me spitting facts from the drive. She paled at the laundering mention. You don't understand, Daddy's sick. The company's bleeding. The union thing was a one-time fix. Liar. I shoved the bank printouts at her. It's unraveling. Tomorrow, I file with the DA. Her eyes, my eyes, widened, then narrowed to slits. You think you're free? In my body. You're me. My debts. My enemies. And that scar. She jabbed a finger at my abdomen. Not from a C-section. Abortion. Junior year. Daddy's Golden Girls little oops with the frat boy. Leaks that. And you're done. Threat met threat. She lunged, clumsy in my frame, and I sidestepped, her heel catching on gravel. Down she went, my old body sprawling. I could have helped. Instead, I walked away, the pendulum swinging overhead like judgment's blade. Controversial? Hell yes, leaving myself broken on the ground. But revenge demands sacrifices. Back at the penthouse, I poured scotch, top shelf, burning smooth, and drafted the tip. Hale Industries fraud. Attached files. Anonymous. But traced if they tried. Sleep came fitful. Dreams of swapped faces melting like wax. Morning brought escalation. Her phone exploded. Daddy. Furious about the donation glitch. Sorority sisters ghosting after the affair leak. Even the clinic calling about complications. And her? A voicemail. Slurred. You win this round.
Ella.
But check the safe again. Surprise.
I did.
Tucked behind the drive, a vial. Antidote serum. Stamped Elysium. Dated yesterday. She'd planned ahead, stashed it before the swap. My hand shook as I held it. Switch back? End the game? Or shatter it? Inject air. Let permanence seal her fate? The decision hung. As the smog choked dawn. I chose the abyss. Permanence was a drug stronger than the serum. Once you tasted the power of being someone else, going back felt like surrender. I smashed the vial in the sink, shards glinting like broken promises under the recessed lights. Then flushed the evidence with a twist of her gold faucet. No more half measures. This body was mine now. A vessel for the storm I'd unleash. Victoria Hale's life became my canvas, painted in shades of gray morality and midnight confessions. The tension coiled tighter. Every decision a wire pulled taut, ready to snap and draw blood, metaphorical, but no less sharp. Her world was a viper pit, and I learned to slither. Harvard awaited post-summer, but first, LA's underbelly. I infiltrated her social circle, brunches at the Ivy, where Botox influencers dissected Met Gala looks, pool parties in the hills, where trust fund heirs snorted lines off mirrored trays. They saw Vicky, the queen bee, but I probed casual questions over rows about Hale dealings, nods at whispers of offshore drama. One girl, tipsy heiress to a pharma fortune, let slip. Your dad's fracking ops? Total shitshow. Heard regulators are circling after that spill in Permian. Fuel. I funneled it to my contacts, ghosts from my old life. Pro bono lawyers I'd clerked for during service hours. Anonymous source, I'd email.
Attaching redacted hale memos.
The press nibbled, a variety blurb on energy sector scrutiny, then a LAT op-ed questioning corporate greed. Victoria, in my shell, watched from afar, text to blocked numbers pleading,
Ella.
They're calling me for questioning at the bar. Fix it.
I didn't.
Instead, I escalated. Controversial as torching a confessional. Her ex, that frat boy from the Scar story, Chadwick Wentworth III, now a junior VP at a rival firm. I seduced him at a gala. Her body a weapon I wielded clumsily at first, then with cold precision. Over oysters at Nobu, I cooed about old times, then dropped the bomb. Remember that clinic visit? The one Daddy paid hush for? His face drained of color. By dessert, he was spilling. Hale had buried not just her abortion, but payoffs to the doctor for falsified records, ensuring no paper trail. And the union funds? Routed through his family's bank to test the waters for bigger plays. Chad became my unwitting mole, feeding ducks via dead drops in Echo Park coffee shops. But intimacy bred unease. In his hotel suite, post-coital haze, he'd trace her, my skin, murmuring, You're different, Vic. Softer. Somehow. I laughed it off. But mirrors mocked me later. Was I becoming her? Or just wearing the mask too long? The bank's audit loomed like a guillotine. I prepped, forging Vicky's panic, frantic calls to Daddy's lawyers, shredding peripheral files while digitizing the damning ones. Reginald Hale himself flew in Silver Fox in a Tom Ford suit, eyes like steel traps. Dinner at Spago. He grilled me over Wagyu. What's this bank nonsense? Princess? You know better than sloppy wires. I played the damsel. Tears artfully smudged mascara. It was for the procedure.
Daddy.
I panicked, used the quick account. He bought it. Mostly. But his grip on my wrist bruised. Clean it up. Or no inheritance. Power's underbelly. He wasn't just cunning, he was monstrous. Later, eavesdropping via her nanny cam app installed for security. I caught him on the phone. Double the lobbyists. Bury the union link. Pin it on that scholarship girl if you have to. Ella Ramirez? She's got priors. My blood boiled. Her blood. Hot and aristocratic. He was circling back to frame me again. Even in exile. Revenge's high was addictive. But crack showed. Migraines from the serum. Flashes of her memories bleeding into mine. Childhood equestrian shows. The sting of Daddy's belt for A, B+. That clinic table where fear tasted like copper. I fought them. Grounding in my truths, Mom's rosary beads. Smuggled in her purse.
And Victoria?
She adapted.
Disturbingly.
Sighted her once. Tailing a bus in my ratty jeans. Eyes hardened. She'd dyed the hair blonde, mimicking me mocking her. A message. I'm coming for you. The climax brewed at the bank meeting, round 2, with Hargrove and a Fed suit from the FDIC. Conference room sterile as a morgue, LA's skyline mocking through blinds. MS. Hale. The discrepancies are systemic. Funds from Hale Industries diverted through educational nonprofits, including that UCLA union. Traces to personal expenditures, cosmetic, travel. I leaned in, voice steady. Show me. They did, timelines overlapping my frame job. Her clinic invoices stamped with union codes. The Fed. A no-nonsense Latina named Reyes, irony's knife, pinned me with a stare. You were president of that union chapter. Correct? Motive. I could have folded. Played victim. Instead, controversial pivot, I slid over the thumb drive. Not me. Her well. Look closer. The signatures?
Forged.
And this. Hale memos. Chad's payoffs. It's the family.
Gasps.
Hargrove sputtered. Reyes's eyes lit like she'd hooked Moby Dick. This implicates major players.
Yes. Hale.
You're exposing your own. I nodded. Throat tight. Blood's thicker than ink. But truth's thicker still.
Lies.
All performance, but the decision haunted. Was I destroying her? Or us? Her crimes clung to this skin like perfume. Outside. Rain lashed the streets, rare LA deluge. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Victoria. Saw you go in.
Bold. Ella.
But Daddy knows. He's sending cleaners. Cleaners? Heart stuttered. I bolted to the condo, packing a go bag, passports, hers. Mine dual in the safe. Cash from the safe's false bottom.
En route.
A tail, black SUV, tinted menace. I lost them in Silver Lake traffic, holing up at a Fleabag motel off Sunset. There, amid peeling wallpaper and the hum of a mini fridge, I hit send, full dossier to Reyes. CC to every watchdog from ProPublica to the DOJ. No turning back. The leak hit wires by dawn, headlines screaming, heiress blows whistle on family fraud. Victoria's response? A single text, you just killed us both. Sleep evaded. You and visions of swapped graves. But dawn brought clarity. Revenge wasn't erasure. It was rebirth. Jagged and unapologetic. The fallout was a hurricane in slow motion, winds of scandal whipping through boardrooms and back alleys, uprooting everything Victoria Hale held dear. I watched from the shadows of my motel hideout, her smartphone a portal to Armageddon, stock tickers plunging for Hale Industries. Daddy's face plastered on CNBC snarling denials. Sorority chats exploding with WTF Vicky? Emojis. In her body, I felt the phantom itches of a life unraveling. Nails bitten to stubs, a habit mine. Bleeding through. Stomach knotted from skipped meals. Tension wasn't just plot, it was pulse. Every heartbeat a debate. Hero or villain. Avenger or architect of ruin. Reyes moved fast. Subpoenas rained on the penthouse by noon. I slipped in disguised, oversized sunglasses. A scarf like some Euro starlet fleeing paparazzi to grab the last files. The place reeked of abandonment. Takeout containers. A half-empty gin bottle on the counter. Her diary lay open, frantic scrawls. Ella's in me, but I'm stronger. We'll end her. Chills. She'd weaponized my old life's grit, petitioning the bar for reinstatement under Ella Ramirez, citing identity crisis from the procedure. Ballsy, using my name to claw back. I fled with the ledger, physical. Leather-bound. Daddy's old-school vice, and hold up again. This time a Airbnb in Venice. Beach bum anonymity amid drum circles and weed haze. There. I pieced the final puzzle. The hidden secret wasn't just laundering, it was murder. White-collar style. Pages chronicled a 2015 cover-up, hail fracking rig explosion in Ohio. Killing 5 workers, including a union rep sniffing too close. Bribes to OSHA. A settlement fund siphoned through. The governor's Merit Scholarship Board. My award? Tainted from inception. A slush payout masked as merit. The crime I'd borne? Not just the frame. I'd absorbed her family's original sin. My essay twisted into their ledger lie. Rage crested. Dark and tidal. Controversial call. I didn't tip Reyes yet. First. Confrontation. Tracked Victoria to a soup kitchen in Skid Row. Ironic. Her volunteering for optics, but in my body. It fit. She ladled broth with mechanical grace. Eyes darting. I approached from behind, her voice low. Missed me? She spun. Ladle clattering. My face, haggard. Defiant, stared back. You bitch. The leak? That's suicide. We ducked into an alley. Rain-slick bricks closing in. Tension thick as the soup steam. Not suicide, I countered. Justice. Your dad's blood money funded my dreams, then you stole them for fillers. She laughed. Bitter. Justice? You're in my skin. Fucking my ex. Tanking my future. We're the same now, monsters. Truth stung. But I pressed. The ledger. Flashed like a gun. Ohio. 5 dead. Your family paid off my scholarship with their ghosts. My face crumpled. I didn't know. Not then. Daddy said it was reparations. Lies. But her eyes flickered, guilt. Real as the scar. We grappled. Hands on collars. Breaths mingling in the downpour. She shoved. I slipped. Head cracking pavement. Stars burst. Her body heavy. She loomed. Fist raised. Controversial mercy? She hesitated. Switch back.
Ella.
Antidote's gone.
But.
Therapy. We fake it. Temptation whispered. But no. I kicked out. Swept her legs, my old street smarts guiding her limbs. She hit mud. Wheezing. Too late. I left her there. Ledger in tow. Sprinting to my car. The drive to Reyes's office blurred, sirens in the distance. Paranoia prickling. Handoff was clinical, Fed building downtown. Metal detectors beeping her earrings. Reyes met me in a windowless room.
Coffee stale.
This is dynamite.
Hail. But why?
Blood betrayal. I leaned forward, voice cracking, hers. But my soul. Because she took everything. And I took it back. Signed affidavits. Voice prints for verification. As I left, her words echoed. You're me now. The climax erupted that night. Hale's private jet grounded by warrants. Daddy arrested at LAX. Cuffs glinting under flashbulbs.
Victoria?
Nabbed at the soup kitchen. My body paraded for mugshots. Headline screamed, heiress duo in epic swap scandal? Leaks twisted, rumors of cult rituals. Dissociative experiments. Elysium clinic raided. Serum vials seized. I went dark, ditching her phone in the Pacific. Surf crashing like applause. But power's price, isolation gnawed. In a Highland Park safe house, rented under a false name, I confronted the mirror. Blonde perfection stared back. But eyes? Mine. Haunted. Memories fused. Her equestrian ribbons. My mom's chemo vigils.
Who was I?
Ella in Vicky's cage. Or a new beast. She reached out via smuggled note. Passed through a guard contact. We talk. One last time. County jail. Tomorrow. Against better judgment, I went visitor's booth. Plexiglass barrier. My old face. Bruised from the fall. Press close. The bank's full report drops Friday, she said. Voice tinny through speaker. It names us both. Your loan from the union? They trace it to you.
Ella.
I covered for you once. Now, we're co-conspirators. Twist's knife. She'd known about my 5K dip. Buried it in the frame to protect me? No, leverage. Liar. But doubt seated. The ledger confirmed. A footnote. My initials on a microdiversion. I'd borne her crime.
But sown mine.
High noon approached, revenge's peak. Or pyre. The jail visit lingered like a bad high. Victoria's words of venomous seeds sprouting doubts in the fertile soil of my fractured mind. County lockups buzz, fluorescence humming over scuffed linoleum. Echoes of slammed doors mirrored the chaos in my skull. Was I the betrayed? Or the betrayer? Her claim about my loan gnawed. I confessed it to her in a weak moment. Tears over mom's bills. And she'd hugged me, promising silence. Protection. Or plot. The line blurred. As the holding cell shadows. Every decision now a gamble in a house-rigged game. I bolted LA that afternoon. Her Beamer traded for cash at a chop shop in Compton, grimy hands slapping bills. No questions. Headed east on I-10, windows down. Wind whipping blonde strands like flags of surrender. Destination, a cousin's farm in the Mojave. Off-grid oasis amid Joshua trees and dust devils. There, under star-pricked skies, I decrypted the bank's full report, hacked via a VPN on her abandoned tablet. The pages scrolled, diversions, timestamps. And there, my initials, faint but fatal, on that 5K wire. I typed it in desperation, routed through a dummy account, thinking it untraceable. Victoria hadn't framed me clean. She'd amplified my mistake, weaving it into her tapestry of theft. Co-conspirators? Indeed. The revelation twisted. She'd saved me from petty theft charges by making me the big bad, shielding her larger sins under my fall. Rage morphed to something darker, self-loathing, laced with pity. For her, trapped in my worn shell, facing bars I'd once dodged. For me, adrift in privilege's husk, chasing vengeance that tasted of ash. But the climax demanded blood, metaphorical. American justice's blade. I drove back at dawn. Desert heat mirage shimmering the horizon, resolve hardening like cooling lava. Daddy's trial prep leaked first, arraignment in federal court, downtown's pompous edifice. I slipped in as witness consultant, badge forged from her bar association ID. The gallery buzzed reporters, rubberneckers, a smattering of East LA activists chanting for worker justice. Reginald Hale, shackled but snarling, locked eyes with his princess across the room. Confusion flickered. I'd aged her face with makeup, hollowed cheeks to echo my old hunger. Testimony time. I took the stand, voice steady. Your Honor, I'm Victoria Hale. And this empire? Built on bones. The room detonated. Prosecutors pivoted, grilling me on ledgers, serums,
Swaps.
You mean to say you've exchanged identities? Gasps, flashes popping. I spilled the clinic, the vile swap,
The frame.
She stole my life for vanity, scholarship, surgery, all laundered lies. I took it back. Daddy lunged at the bar, roaring, traitor. Bailiffs wrestled him down. Victoria, extradited for the hearing, watched from holding via video feed, my face pale on the screen, mouthing why? Because truth reverses. Raw and unrelenting. The bank report dropped mid-testimony, full audit, implicating all. My 5K? Footnoted as anomalous precursor, not centerpiece, her forgery overshadowed it. But the twist gutted Hale's reparations fund? It included payouts to Ohio widows. Genuine at first. Victoria had diverted them later, for her tweaks. But one widow, Maria Ramirez, my mom's sister, had received a check. Anonymous. Life-saving for her own kids' medicals. I'd borne her crime, but she'd unknowingly eased mine family's pain. Reversal. Villain to victim? Or shades of gray. Court adjourned in uproar. I vanished into the scrum, shedding the disguise in a restroom stall.
Outside.
Chaos reigned, protests swelling. Hale stock cratering. Victoria's final play? A jailhouse lawyer filed suit. Identity theft. Conspiracy. Me versus.
Me.
A Mobius strip of litigation. Epilogue unfolded in fragments. Daddy plea bargained. 15 years in white-collar purgatory. Hale Industries splintered. Assets seized for victims, Ohio families first, then student funds replenished. My scholarship retroactively awarded to a ghost. Victoria? 6 months for fraud. Emerging gaunt in my body. Blonde eye faded. Eyes mine but hardened. She vanished to Reno. Rumor has it dealing cards in casinos. Ella Ramirez on the name tag.
Me?
I kept her shell. Legally, Victoria, after psych evals and a quiet judge's nod. Serum irreversible. Identity fluid in America's melting pot. Traveled. Backpacked the Appalachians. Volunteered in Rust Belt clinics. Writing exposés under pseudonyms. Power's echo faded. But the tension lingered. Debate in every diner chat. Was I justice's hand? Or hubris's fool? Did I free us? Or forge eternal chains? One night, in a Taos adobe, fire crackling, I burned the last file. Smoke curled like questions unanswered. Revenge ended not in triumph or tragedy, but ambiguity, a mirror held to society's vanities, leaving you to argue the reflection.
Who won?
Hell if I know. But in this skin, I breathe freer. And if she ever finds me, we'll swap stories over tequila. Or knives. Your call.